Transparency and accountability are essential components of good government, and Washington's Public Records Act can be credited for helping foster these principles in our state. But a changing public records environment and a Public Records Act that has not kept up to pace with present-day issues pose challenges to large and small governments alike. Such issues include the rise in the volume of information governments are required to maintain, the increasing volume of requests resulting in greater cost to fulfill records requests, changing and complex laws, and public records litigation. In recognizing such challenges, the legislature asked the State Auditor's Office to conduct a study on the cost of providing public records requests to aid in policy deliberation. Our study sought to identify the nature and volume of public records requests Washington's state and local governments receive and the costs they incur when responding to them. We also identified policies other states have adopted to address issues around public records requests and recover costs associated with fulfilling requests. Lastly, we identified practices state and local governments can use to effectively manage public records, respond to requests, and make public records more accessible.
In our survey results, we found that responding to public records requests is costing Washington state and local governments millions of dollars. A sample of the governments that responded to our statewide survey reported spending $60 million to fulfill over 250,000 public records requests in the most recent year alone. Their greatest expense is the staff time needed to search, review, redact, and prepare public records for release to requesters. Having a staff time as their major expense is concerning for governments because the Public Records Act doesn't allow them to recover these costs. Due to this limitation, governments were only able to recover less than 1% of the $60 million they spent in the most recent year. About 17% of the governments that responded to our survey said they faced litigation and spent over $10 million in the most recent year alone. The volume of requests government receives, as well as the cost to fulfill them, has increased significantly over the past 5 years. This growing trend has implication not just for governments, but also for all taxpayers.
Some states have policies to recover more than just the cost of paper records. For instance, they will charge for personnel costs. A lot of times if they do charge for personnel costs, they will have parameters around those policies. For instance, you can only charge for personnel costs if a record is 100 pages or more, or only after 30 minutes of redacting, reviewing, and searching for the record. A lot of the states that we looked at will only allow charges based on the hourly rate of the lowest paid employee that's capable of doing the work as well. Some states won't allow charges for requesters that are associated with media or academia. Other states will charge commercial requesters. So if there's a commercial purpose associated with the request, they'll charge. Additionally, we found several states that will also charge for electronic records. Illinois was really interesting. Based off of all the other states that we found, Illinois was the only state that charged by megabyte. So they'll charge $20 for 2 megabytes worth of data.
We also identified practical actions state and local governments can consider taking to provide public records more efficiently and effectively. These practical actions include disclosing information before it is asked for to reduce costs not only to the requester but to the government agency, collecting and retaining only necessary records to help eliminate the need for excessive search and retrieval in the event of a public records request, and adopting strategies organization-wide to accommodate the complex public records laws.
Providing access to government records in a manner that doesn't limit the public access to information or unduly affect the government core services or government operations is challenging. Our research found that a combination of statewide policy changes and better information management and disclosure practices is needed to keep pace with changing time.
To read the full report and explore the survey data in detail, visit our website at www.sao.wa.gov.